Once you've defined a database connection, you're ready to retrieve data from your MySQL database. Dreamweaver makes it easy to build simple SQL statements to do this work for you. SQL stands for Structured Query Language, and it's the standard language that's used to communicate with the database from any application environment. To get started with SQL, open any PHP file. I'm working with the file simpleRs.php, which you'll find in the root folder of this site. In the Bindings panel, there's a plus button that lets you create what Dreamweaver refers to as a binding. A binding is a definition of dynamic data. I'll click the plus button and choose Record Set Query. The Record Set dialog box has two modes, Simple and Advanced. If this is the first time you've used this dialog, you'll see the simple version. You enter the name of the record set, select a connection, choose a table in that database, and then supply other parameters. There's a button labeled Advanced, and when you click that, you're taken to the advanced version of the record set dialog. I'm going to start with the simple version. You can name your record set anything you want. I typically prefix my record sets with the characters RS. So I'm going to name this RS Packages. Then I'll pull down the table list and choose the Packages table. You'll see a listing of the available columns in the table. If you leave the column selection set to all, that means you're retrieving all of the columns in the entire table. If you prefer, you can choose the Selected Radio button, and then holding down the Control key on Windows or the Command key on Mac, you can click on the columns you want. I'll choose these three columns: Package Title, Package Description, and Package Graphic. Now I'm going to test my record set by clicking the Test button. That shows me the data that's returned from the database. I'll click OK to close the dialog, and then I'll also add a sort parameter. I'll pull down the sort list and choose Package Title, and then I'll leave the second option set to Ascending. Now I'm ready to insert the record set into my current web page. I'll click OK, and I won't see any changes to the page in Design View. But I'll go to Code View and expand to full screen by pressing the F4 key, and I'll see that a whole bunch of PHP code has been added to my page at the top. First, I'll see a Require Once directive that includes the explorecalifornia.php file. That's the file that defines my database connection. Then there's a sequence of code that creates a select statement. A select statement in SQL retrieves data from the server. This select statement is retrieving the three selected columns, Package Title, Package Description, and Package Graphic, from the Packages table. And the Order By clause is sorting the data by the title field. That string is my SQL statement. The next line of code executes the query by calling a PHP function called MySQLQuery. It passes in the query string and the connection. This little bit of code, starting with the phrase or die, means that if the query doesn't work for some reason, then the PHP page should be terminated. If everything goes well, at that point we start fetching data by calling a function called MySQLFetchAssociation, or ASSOC. And finally, a variable named TotalRowsRsPackages is created, which is based on the function MySQLNumRows. We're passing in the record set and getting back the total number of rows in the record set. So all that code taken together executes the query, retrieves the data from the server, and stores it in a set of variables, which you can use in your PHP pages. I'll show you how to display the data in various ways in some other exercises, but I'll also point out one last bit of code that's placed at the bottom of the page and is very important. It's called MySQL free result. This releases the reference to the record set in the PHP server's memory, and it makes sure that you're releasing any memory that's used by storing those record sets when the current page is finished processing on the server.